Hello and welcome to this all about Timberwolf Mountain guide video. In this video, I will be going over some key information to help you get familiar with the Timberwolf Mountain region in the Long Dark. I'll be going over things like transition zones, base options, wildlife, and some advice on exploring the region and much more. Feel free to check out the timestamps in the description to jump to the information you need. A very brief background. Timberwolf Mountain was the fifth main region released for the Long Dark. It is definitely one of the more challenging regions in the game due to its harsh weather, including cold temperatures and plenty of blizzards. Timberwolf Mountain also only has one man-made structure, meaning you'll be dependent on using other means to take shelter, such as caves or building snow shelters. Despite the harsh conditions and limited indoor shelter, it rewards you with a huge amount of valuable loot. Timberwolf Mountain is also known for its valuable loot due to the leftover wreckage from a plane crash, which is scattered around the region. Map overview. I feel the best way I can describe Timberwolf Mountain is layered. The terrain or the landscape is quite varied compared to some of the other regions, having multiple elevations from down to the ravine, the valley, and up to the high summit peak. You are guaranteed to need to rope climb in Timberwolf Mountain, as the areas within the region are almost like separate plateaus or sections at different elevations. It also has two cave systems within the region itself, providing shortcuts to and from certain areas. To split it into sections, I would say there is the kind of main valley, where the Mountaineer's hut is, and the frozen lake. You have the lower valley or the ravine area. You have what I would call the Bear Plateau, the Engine Plateau, and the upper plateau or deer clearing area, and of course we also have the summit. It definitely takes some exploring and experiencing the region to get used to the layout and figure out the best routes to get where you need to go. Since the Mountaineer's hut is the only main man-made shelter, it's likely this will be your base of operations while in the region, so it's a good landmark to learn your routes from and to. Main bases. Mountaineer's hut. The Mountaineer's hut is the only man-made structure in Timberwolf Mountain. It is not a loaded structure like other interiors, you can just walk in and out. In the hut you will find a fireplace with two cooking slots, a workbench, beds, and some storage space. It's a cozy little base and loved by many. Now with the new base customization you can even patch up the roof. It's located in the valley of Timberwolf Mountain, not too far from the transition zone to Pleasant Valley. It also has a fishing hut just outside on the frozen lake, providing an easy food source if needed. Transition zones. Transition zones are locations in a main region which let you move into a different region. Timberwolf Mountain is a main region in the game with transitions to 4 places. Number 1. To the lower area of Ash Canyon through a walking transition. Number 2. To the higher area of Ash Canyon through a cave system. Number 3. To Pleasant Valley via a walking transition. And number 4. To Blackrock through a cave system. Prepper Cache. There is a Prepper Cache located in Timberwolf Mountain. Depending on your save, it may either be filled or abandoned. I'll show you the route I take to get there using the Mountaineer's hut as my starting point. Facilities. Starting off with workbenches, there's one located in the Mountaineer's hut. Cooking-wise, you have a fireplace in the Mountaineer's hut, a potbelly stove in the fishing hut. You also have one fishing spot available in Timberwolf Mountain right in front of Mountaineer's hut. Loot. You will need a hacksaw. Please note, Timberwolf Mountain is known for its high concentration of valuable loot, mainly down to the plane crash situated at the summit, with many of its storage containers scattered around the region. While the loot is greatly valuable, it doesn't come without risk. Timberwolf Mountain is quite highly concentrated when it comes to wildlife. There are wolves at nearly every point of interest, including around the scattered containers from the plane, as well as sometimes a roaming bear, or cougar if you have the DLC. As well, rope climbs are unavoidable unless you want to spend your time finding a way to goat up. Anyway, meaning your carrying capacity will be limited too. Each of the containers are themed, let's say. So for example, you'll have one full of tools, one full of food, one full of clothing, one full of skins, etc. Please remember again that you will need a hacksaw to access these crates. If you do not have one already, you may find one in the Mountaineer's hut or potentially nearby one of the containers. I won't go into specific items this time as to what you can find, as the plane crash loot does pretty much give you nearly a bit of everything in this game. Please note, loot amounts will also depend on the difficulty level that you are playing. As the summit is the main point of interest when it comes to loot, I'm going to show you my preferred route of getting there, starting off at the Mountaineer's hut. This is the route I find easiest to follow, and you do not need to have placed any ropes in place already beforehand. Just to be warned, this route, as probably any in this region, is not without risk of wildlife, and rope climbs are definitely involved. The summit. At the summit itself, firstly let me warn you that currently, I believe after the global refresh, wolves can spawn at the summit. At the summit you will find a plane crash, obviously the major feature of the summit, and all the containers with great loot. There is also a cave up at the summit where you may also sometimes find a rope or one of the Polaroids. The summit is of course one of the Vista points as well in Timberwolf Mountain, as there are two. There's also some natural resources up here, normally plenty of firewood as well to keep yourself warm while you go through all the containers. Once you're done at the summit, you can goat your way back down, right back down to the Mountaineer's hut. Great for getting loot back quickly. Feel free to find a way to goat up here if that's your thing. Natural resources. Timberwolf Mountain also has some valuable natural resources. You're gonna be able to find the following in Timberwolf Mountain: rose hips, reishi mushrooms, old beard lichen, cattails, birch and maple saplings, birch bark, burdock, and acorns. Wildlife. Timberwolf Mountain has a lot of wildlife and every type of wildlife you can imagine. Rabbits, ptarmigan, deer, wolves, timberwolves, bear, moose, and the cougar if you have the DLC. Let's go over the spawn locations for moose, bears, timberwolves, and wolves. Later in the DLC section, I will also go over the information about the cougar. Moose spawns near the fallen tree bridge, a bit further on from the wing section in the valley. On the ice below the waterfall next to Andre's Peak. Near the crates on the plateau above the frozen lake. Bears. There are 3 bear caves present in Timberwolf Mountain. Firstly, in the valley in between the frozen lake and the wing section of the wreckage. Number 2, next to the waterfall on the plateau above the frozen lake, below Andre's Peak. Number 3, in the narrowish area between Deer Clearing and Eric Falls. Timberwolves. Timberwolves finally now do spawn in Timberwolf Mountain. The 2 places they may appear are on the frozen lake outside Mountaineer's hut and around the wing section of the wreckage in the valley. Wolves. There is an abundance of wolves in Timberwolf Mountain. You'll find them pretty much at every point of interest, and yeah, there's just a lot of places you will find wolves. Vista points and Polaroids. Vista points are locations in a region where if you survey the area with charcoal, it will reveal a greater area of the map compared to when you normally survey. You will first need to find the relevant Polaroid, go to the location and survey the map. It won't work unless you have the Polaroid. In Timberwolf Mountain, there are 2 Vista points, one being the summit, where the main section of the plane wreckage is, the second being at Andre's Peak. As there are 2 Vista points, you will need to find 2 Polaroids. There's quite a few possible locations to find these. In the cave located at the summit, in the forest cave, which is in the very southeast corner of the map, past where the wing section is in the valley. There's possibly 2 that you can find here. Not far from that forest cave, a little bit up the hill, you will find potentially a backpack which could also have the Polaroid in it. On the east side of the map, just after you've gone over the fallen tree bridge, if you would be heading up to the summit or to the prepper cache, there's a small cave where you may either find a briefcase or a backpack. It's possible that you may find 2 of the Polaroids here, as in this case. Another spot you might find it is on a corpse on the way up to Andre's Peak, in a plastic container on Andre's Peak, in a backpack on Echo Peak West, or in a plastic container on Echo Peak East. Lastly, you might also find it on a corpse south of Eric Falls. Memento Caches. Mementos are a collectible which you can find throughout Great Bear. They normally lead you to either a hidden cache with some loot or a hint at a landmark or transition zone. The way it works is first you need to find a note which correlates to a certain cache. You won't be able to access the caches without having found the note first. Sometimes they will also come with a key as well. Timberwolf Mountain has 2 memento hints, but no memento caches. Hint 1. This is found in the Mountaineer's hut, and this hint leads you to the cave where there is a corpse with a laptop. The laptop will reveal a buffer memory during an aurora. Hint 2. Found in the fishing hut on the frozen lake, this hints you to the transition cave at Deer Clearing, which leads you to Ash Canyon. DLC content. Let's go over some information that may be relevant if you have the Tales from the Far Territory DLC. It's the Spelunker's Lantern. There are quite a few places where you may find the Spelunker's Lantern in Timberwolf Mountain. Number 1, in the cave at Secluded Shelf. Number 2, in the cave system leading to Ash Canyon at Deer Clearing. Number 3, in the cave nearby the engine wreckage. There are also a few locations that are interloper only spawns. These are in a transition cave leading to Blackrock, in the Waterfall Cave near Eric Falls, and at Echo Peak East. Cougar. With the DLC, the Cougar does spawn in Timberwolf Mountain. The first area or territory the Cougar will roam is in the forest area near the forest cave and the wing section of the wreckage. If you kill this one, it will expand to an area between the engine wreckage and the Blackrock transition cave. Lastly, if you kill this one, it will appear in the foresty area between the Mountaineer's hut and the landing gear, which is right on your path to the transition to Pleasant Valley. Trader's Radio. There is no Trader's Radio located in Timberwolf Mountain. The nearest one is in Pleasant Valley, that is located inside the community center at Thompson's Crossing. Routes of exploration. Here are a few routes for exploring Timberwolf Mountain. Of course, these are only suggestions based on how I might go about it, so don't feel like you have to follow these. Most likely, you will be wanting to go to all of the containers scattered around the region, and these can be your kind of mini aims while you're exploring Timberwolf Mountain. Excluding the summit itself, there are 6 locations around Timberwolf Mountain where the plane crash containers can be found. So you can slowly work your way around visiting each of the containers. They do give quite a lot of loot, so you might want to visit just 1 or 2 of the locations at a time. A few things to note while exploring Timberwolf Mountain. There are multiple rope climbs, some of which do not provide a rope already. For example, between Eric Falls Plateau and the Engine Part Plateau, there is no rope available, so going up that way is not possible until you place a rope. There are 2 cave systems within the region itself, connecting one part area of the region to another. One of the cave systems connects the lower valley to the Engine Part Plateau. The second cave system will let you reach the summit for the first time. This cave connects the secluded shelf area near the deer clearing side of the region to the small shelf or plateau that contains a long rope climb to the summit. So I think I've gone over a lot of the information that will help you get familiar with Timberwolf Mountain. I really hope you've enjoyed the guide, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.